Hey guys, welcome back to the show, Eagle Trading. It's 7:23 p.m. on May 19th, 2020. Little reversal today, intraday. Kind of felt like it was gonna go down. Um, we were on Twitch talking about shorting Apple. Apple was kind of making a little intraday, little channel lower intraday, and we were kind of watching it kind of bounce off these little channels that I had made. Then it kind of broke to the upside, and then obviously the Moderna news just shows you how sensitive the market is right now at these levels with any type of negative news with the virus. But we were running little channels, and this little intermediate channel was kind of descending the whole way, and then it kind of dropped out, but then it fired back to the upside, and then we reached up and banged up against some overhead horizontal resistance, and then it just crapped out at the end of the day hard. I mean, the market was dropping pretty precipitously. It shows you just how vulnerable we are once we get at these upper levels. I did a little TVIX trade. I sold. I don't really like TVIX, so I don't really hold this over into the close here. You just get in and get out, and I was just having fun trading this pop in here and then this pullback, and then just fired up. This little channel here is riding this little channel for a while. And I would just buy the dips and then sell when it got close to the top channel, I'll just dump it. And, the market action today would have been better if the S&P probably, or if the market indices had closed or actually opened up with a down move. We had a monster move yesterday, so I kind of thought we would be pulling back anyway. So when I saw the market was somewhat stable, and it was a little surprising to me, I was expecting some type of a pullback. Just to absorb and digest that big monster move from yesterday. Still looking for higher numbers on the QQQ channel, just a little bit. I guess like I said, we're going to the last leg here, in my opinion, and we still haven't tagged that upper number, so I don't really feel like comfortable going net short here. We did get really close to it. I can't have perfection here, but man, it came close to that top channel, getting into the 230 areas, and then big rejection. But, I don't know that it starts another downward move. I still think that we have a little bit more to squeeze out on the upside, so I'm not getting too crazy here, but I am more in cash than I've ever been. I started going into cash last week, not because I think anything ominous is going to happen or I see us breaking a big leg down here in the market, but just the risk reward doesn't favor, and I'm probing short intraday. It's a little bit easier to probe short intraday. So let's look at the trades today. Starwood Hotel was one that I loved and did a nice trade on at about 900. She actually started with about 1,200 shares of this on the pullback, and this was a nice setup on Starwood. I did not chase it from the beginning. So a lot of times, if I think a stock is going to go higher and it starts to run like MOMO did, I'm a little bit more apt to go smaller shares. But if something that I think is going to go up starts to pull back, then I tend to go a little bit heavier. And what I looked for today was textbook 2 on Starwood. And as the market goes higher, I'll start to narrow down the focus of my long trades, because I'm like a hunter with one bullet. I want to make sure stuff comes to me, and I'm not chasing stuff, and I'm not carrying stuff over into the close regardless how much profit I have on it. So here's the downward move we saw in Starwood, and it started to curl away from the lower VWAP yellow line that I use, and started to pop back up, hit the VWAP, pulled back again, hit the VWAP, pulled back again. So now it started to make a little bit of a shape, a little bit of history behind it that I could kind of gauge. And I was like, okay, now it looks interesting. The triple bottom was really interesting too. So I took a small position, 500 shares. Down here, the stop was super tight. I had to stop at like 12.19, and it was within 3 cents of the low. Then we got up and kind of retraced and hit the VWAP for the third or the fourth time just about, and we pulled back down. And then once we got back up above the trend line, this descending trend line, I bought in and added an extra 400. Then we added an extra 300. So nice move. I started selling this in pieces at the top. I did not catch the very top. I think my final trade was 12.85, and I had a high of like, I don't know, 12.91 or something. And then it started to roll over just like everything else into the close. A little bit disappointing, obviously. for a buy and hold, but that's just how we're playing it. Shorted oil again. I've been shorting oil every day, looking for a continuation move. If we don't get it, I'm usually out. So I only hold it for the top of the VWAP, and my channels. As long as my channels hold, I'll continue to hold it. So took big positions here, rode it up, was holding it, and once again we were on Twitch Live, and I said, let me just sell some of my shares up in here because it hit this top channel, which I had made from the directional change on this pivot here. So there was the top channel. I got out of it, was just blindly, not expecting, didn't know what I was going to do from there, and then set a stop that once it broke this little trend line here that I was out. So once again, just trading off those lines, and I'll hit it again tomorrow, but I don't feel comfortable carrying over for any follow through. Momo was a trade we liked. Like I said, very narrow scope here. We're not, we could talk about Shopify, we could talk about Wayfair and Peloton and, all these different stocks, but then I'm going to show you this crazy stock after hours, guys. Insane. So Momo, we had a target price of 23.20, which it hit. It was nice if you got a little bit out of the gate here and set your stop. Nice little pullback, and then it started to curl, and then tested the VWAP, and then it was off to the races. Retouch on the VWAP, and then you got your 23.20. So even if you bought in once we crossed over and you got in around 22.60, 500, 600, 700 shares, whatever, tight stop below the last candle, puts you at like 22.50. So your loss could have been $140, and you make a nice move from there, and you hit our 23.20 target, and then you set your stop real tight once it hits 23.20 target, and you get to 23.60, just trail it and then get out. You've hit your top thing, and then once again you avoid this at the end of the day, which we could have more of. This is the stock that I'm talking about, and I don't know what to think about this one, guys. It's got a small market cap. I have a feeling if I bought it, they would do a secondary and I would get smashed. NNDM apparently has some proprietary new technology. The stock is actually flying in after hours. I'm watching it and I'm like, God. And I have a top channel target of 618 on this, so I could have taken some shares and looked for 618, but I can't chase stuff like this, guys. This thing is up 341%. I mean, I wish I'd caught this morning. I didn't pick it up on my scanners. I was focusing on other stuff. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I can't keep missing stuff like this. This thing just had a monster climb throughout the day. From $1.20, it peaked out and then pulled. I mean, I would have been out of this anyway when it broke this little trend up in here, probably somewhere along this line in here. I probably would have got stopped out right here. But this thing just climbed, and then after hours, just on this move. I'm telling you, it's gonna hit that 615 after hours at 618. And what I did was I looked at, and I like stocks like this, low market cap, story behind it, and it's got some price history too. So don't worry about this. That's my channel. It just shows up on TOS in the chart there. So what I looked at was, let's look at a 2-year chart, and we'll load the daily on it. And I kind of look back to where this thing broke down from in this little area, right? Where was it at? Right here. This candle right here looked really interesting to me because it crossed over into a high volume sell-off, and the top of that candle was like 6 something. I don't remember what it was, but let me look at it really quick. Hang on a second. 680 with a low of 580. So it's going to climb somewhere within that channel, I have a feeling. It's cleared above some of these prior highs. So it's got a lot of wiggle room up until that 6 and change area. So if you kind of zoom in on that candle there, this is the one I'm looking at. So I don't know. It's going to go into the 6s, I have a feeling. I really do. I have a feeling it's going to go into the 6s. But I can't chase stuff like this. It's maddening. Look it up on Seeking Alpha. If you don't have a pro subscription to Seeking Alpha, I'll see if I can send you the link. Just request it in the YouTube comment thing or whatever the hell it is. RTX. Big move, but a big reversal. So I don't like to see that on the stuff like the RTX and the... and we might short financials tomorrow. I forget where they ended up today. I haven't even looked at it yet. Today was a good trading day, though. We're just steadily climbing, man. Steady climbing. RTX, yeah. Beautiful move into the 60s, but today was, I tried to play a little close to the end. I got an alert on volatility, so I was looking at all kinds of stuff at the end of the day. Just don't like to see that kind of a pattern during the day, you know? Just rolling all the way back to the pivot right here at 57.90. That's where you are in after hours. I don't like to see that, you know, especially after a beautiful daily setup, come back, retest a breakout, big volume, nice earnings, above the 20, and then you fail and go below the 20. It's just, I don't like that kind of action. I don't know what it is. But I did miss the big move because I was in, like Flynn, man, I was in 51.90, 400 shares. As soon as we started to move up in pre-market yesterday, I was selling 100 at a pop. I was like, I don't know, I just wanted to focus on other stuff, but I missed the big move. Yeah, that could have been 2K for me, but it is what it is. We've been doing good. We're steady climbing. We were short in Moderna today. What else did we do? ADCT, that little IPO that we bought some shares of. The IPOs always follow the same weird pattern. It's like, if you look at a 5-day chart on it, because there's obviously it's a new issue, so there's not really any history behind it. But it's kind of had a high of like, what was it, 31 and change. Let's zoom back and look at the 5-day history. And these are notorious. I don't know if there was news after hours, but like you have your initial pop, right? You have your initial pop, and you get up to, and bear with me, I have dailies. I could just remove some of these, but you guys get the idea. You have your initial pop up to like 31, right? 30.99, then it kind of figures out what it wants to do during the day, shakes out a lot of people that are looking for a monster move. It kind of has a bottom, yada yada, and then it keeps retesting that 31 area, and then once it breaks through and clean, it's like blue sky. You don't know where it can go. You know, there's no price history behind it. This is actually the first day to open. My apologies. But you get the idea. 30.80 tested, 30.90, 31. It never really got a clean break above there. Well, then after hours, it kind of broke above, and then there's some sellers. I expect volatility with this because there's probably a lot of guys that are holding shares at 17, 18 bucks, so they got in the initial public offering. But nice to see that it hit 31.88 after hours, right? It tells you it has potential to go there. So that'll be in play tomorrow. ADCT. I just like to see stuff like that, and you know where your stop is. It's 29.80, 29.50 on a close, whatever. So keep that in mind. Don't go crazy and short the SPY after hours here, despite the volatility crap going on. Looks like we're curling back up in after hours. No big deal. As long as we hold that 289 on a close, everybody's happy. We're all good. That was a big move, but and then look how we back tested that. That's insane. That cracked my trend line that I used. And then we went right back and just about back tested the trend line. And then we dropped off big time. So we're kind of curling back up in after hours. So check out the stock that I mentioned. It's insane. I'm looking for 6s on that, between 615 and 670. I don't even know what to tell you on that one. I'm just worried they'll do it. The day I buy it, they'll freaking announce a secondary and I'll get smashed. But interesting. Actually, if they apparently the company's growing leaps and bounds, and with this proprietary 3D printing technology that they have, I don't know. I don't get the whole thing, the mechanics behind it, but they're apparently the consistent quarterly 40% revenue growth. They're not cash flow positive, but eventually that probably would get them cash flow positive. But I have a feeling if one doesn't outdo the other, they're probably gonna have to do a secondary to keep afloat. But after that, after they announce that secondary, which I hope they do, and they smash this thing down, then we can go in big time, guys. Interesting company, NNDM, Nancy, David, Mary. And let's finish up looking at the crappy financials and see what the daily is, see if we're ready to short these guys again or what's going on. It's just like, can't get out of their own way. We were going to test my 45-day, but they couldn't even get there. And then we fall below the 20. I don't know if we'll get back up there tomorrow. 2170, what's the after hours? It's close. I don't like that they broke below yesterday's low, but it was a gap. Are they going to fill the gap? Probably not, unless the market rolls below 289.90. Was that our number? I don't know. You could literally fire right back up tomorrow on the XLF. Tough call. We'll look at it tomorrow. I don't think we fill the gap though. I don't like how it's below the 20 though. That could have just been a little bit of low share volume after hours and then into the close. Bunch of scaredy cats. But all right, we'll check back in soon, guys. Great day of trading today. All we need is a few picks a day. Very safe stuff. We know Momo, Starwood on the pullback, shorting oil with tight stops. You know, it's always going to be something. We'll pick up later.